Okay, so today we have a few things focusing on how to revise our body paragraphs for our outlines. So, in lieu of, instead of leaving comments on each of your docs this time, I just have 4 or 5 tips for revision that you all need to follow for not just body paragraph 2, but body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 3 as well. As I was looking through your body paragraphs this time, I found that some of you had not actually followed the feedback from body paragraph 1 into body paragraph 2. Really, the same feedback for body paragraph 1 applies to body paragraph 2. You should take that feedback into account as you move forward with body paragraph 3. I mean, you need the same level of quality for each body paragraph. That doesn't change. So, what I decided to do with this lesson today was just look at a few sample body paragraphs and tell you how you should go about revising your own body paragraphs. And this goes for body paragraph 1 as well as body paragraph 2. I saw quite a few body paragraph 1s that were just not revised. Some of you might have resolved the comments, but they just weren't revised following the comments at all. And as usual, if you do need help, I'm here during office hours from 9:30 to 11:30. I would love to help you. Just shoot me an email. We can set up a Zoom meeting. We can be done like that. It's helped a lot of students so far, those that have chosen to set up Zoom meetings with me. So again, I am just a Zoom call away to help you out. Anyway, on with the lesson here. So, how you should go about revising your body paragraphs. First off, make sure, and I've got some samples here, make sure that you take out the parts from your outline, and I'd recommend pasting them into a different doc. So this is just laying it out so you know how it's copy and pasted. Obviously, you're not going to copy and paste the instructions from the outline into any doc that you're revising. And again, this is what it looks like when you take the stuff from your outline and actually form it into a paragraph. So we've got the topic sentence, the context, the quote, analysis, and concluding sentence. And I'd recommend that you paste your paragraph from your outlines not into a Google Doc, but into Grammarly. Go to Grammarly Premium. Many of you desperately, desperately need this. I needed it when I was in 6th grade, and wasn't lucky enough to have it because the technology didn't exist yet. Now, when you're home, when I'm not here in class with you, you definitely need Grammarly Premium to help you out. Grammarly Premium is at the same level of, it gives you a lot of feedback that I could give you in person and that I could address more easily if we were in a physical classroom. But obviously we can't due to the situation. So please paste your body paragraphs into Grammarly Premium when you are revising and even when you're composing them for the first time. So you paste it into a doc and let's keep it at knowledgeable. Switch the tone to formal. And we can go with either general or academic. Let's go academic. So make sure it's knowledgeable, formal, academic. You can leave the tone alone and leave the intent alone for now and be done. So, how you go about revising a body paragraph, what we have. As the story begins, Melody experiences comfort and good vibes from her family and friends. Melody's mom, and Dr. Hughley are involved. Melody's mom and Dr. Hughley are discussing where to put Melody for school. This is happening to Melody at the doctor's office. So, we've got a few warnings of inconsistent punctuation. And again, when Grammarly stuff comes up, don't just press the buttons. Read through and actually read what it says. Use two different styles of apostrophes or quotation marks in your document. Both styles are acceptable, but it's best to be consistent. So here, I think it's just getting confused about a quote. What you'll want to do when there's a quote, with dialogue within a quote, put your quotation marks there, but add in the one quotation mark things when it's the quotation marks within the quotation marks. Still have your major and punctuation marks, but when it's dialogue within a quote, you'll want to add in just those single quotation marks. And this is one thing too, unclear antecedents. When you have this, what is happening? Tell us what is happening. You can't just have a vague this, okay? So elaborate on what is happening. Because they're discussing where to put Melody for school, but it's not just a discussion about the school. If I want to give even better context, it would be, you can mention something along the lines of this testing and interviewing are happening to Melody at the doctor's. Is the testing, let's see, you'd want to say Melody is being tested to determine her intelligence at the doctor's office. And make sure you have the possessive apostrophe. Melody is tested to determine. If we want to make it not passive voice, we want to say Dr. Hughley tests Melody to determine her intelligence at the doctor's office. Ignore this because it's within a quote. Ignore it, it's within a quote. Ignore it if it's within a quote. Ignore that because it's in a quote. Ignore that because it's in a quote. But you do want to avoid using your, you, I, me, my in your own parts of the writing. If you're quoting it, go ahead, use I, me, your, my, etc. But you should not be using it in your own writing. Also, this person did not cite, so they need Draper and page number. Otherwise, where the heck did you get it from? You got to remember to actually cite it with proper MLA citation after each quote. So make sure that you do that. Also, the context was fine with this one. It's 3 to 4 sentences. It doesn't just drop in the quote completely randomly, but then there's only one sentence of analysis. This is a habit that I've seen in quite a few drafts. Now, you need to add a lot more analysis than just one sentence. You need to add at least 3 to 4 sentences for analysis, and for context, you're shooting for about 4 to 5 sentences. For the context on the top, after the topic sentence, you really need to make sure that your quote isn't just dropped in and that you understand and that your audience understands what is going on with your quote. Remember, your audience for this paper, the people reading it, you should picture them as somebody who has read the book, but it's been a few years and they still need to know a lot of the details. So you should be shooting for 4 to 5 sentences for your context. Analysis. One sentence is not enough to cut it to explain why you brought in this example and how it connects to your theme statement. One sentence is just not enough. You need to expand on your context. You need to have 3 to 4 sentences for each piece of analysis when you bring in an example. So that's another key tip here. And again, sit down for a Zoom meeting with me, just shoot me an email. We can set one up between 9:30 and 11:30 if you need help with any section of this. Then the concluding sentence looks fine, but it's a little possibly wordy. So let's see. Out of my mind begins with many clear examples of family and loyalty when her friends and her family are nice to her. Also, who is her? Who are you talking about? When Melody's friends and family are kind to her. And that fixed it. And that fixed it right there, because it had the vague her. We didn't know who the her was. It's sort of like when somebody just said, this is happening. What is happening? Who is the her? Who is this mysterious pronoun? Who is this? What is that? You know, be very clear about what you are writing in your paper. One other quick thing is just making sure that you use your sentence frames for the topic sentences and concluding sentences. And the topic sentences in each slide, you've got your sentence frames laid out for you. You've got your concluding sentences laid out for you. You need to use your sentence frames because you're not in the place yet as writers to signal, hey, this is a concluding sentence, hey, this is a topic sentence. That's why I provided these for you. So make sure that you do use those sentence frames. You have them for each paragraph. They're laid out. They could not be more clear as to where they are. So do make sure that you have those sentence frames used in your body paragraph drafts. Okay. Other than that, another quick thing is when you do use quotes, make sure that your quotes are no more than 40 words. Okay. Now you can do this, you can double check this in Google Docs. If you highlight the quote part of your body paragraph, and under tools you can press word count, and the word count will give you the highlighted number of words. So this says 38. It's counting the highlighted words that you highlighted before you pressed tools and word count. So 38, you're fine. If it's over 40 words, you need to have a shorter quote. It's just too much. Also, notice this is an uncorrected Grammarly Premium one. This is one that's not corrected by Grammarly Premium on a Google Doc. That did not catch half as many things as Grammarly Premium did. Put your body paragraphs into Grammarly Premium and revise them there. All of you really, really need to start using this. And I expect that you do that as you revise your body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2 today. All right. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. And if you want to set up a Zoom meeting, have some one-on-one time with your outline, please, 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 please email me. Let me know between 9:30 and 11:30. We can have a Zoom meeting. I would love to do it. Love seeing your guys' faces yesterday. Love having one-on-one time with you via Zoom to help you out. So please take advantage of that resource. All right, happy writing, happy revising. All of you are doing great so far overall. For your first 5-paragraph essay outline, I'm really impressed with your work. But you can't get lazy when it comes to this revision stuff, and you can't get lazy when it comes to my feedback. So start using that, start improving a little bit more, and you'll be in a really great place when you go into 7th grade. Okay? Thanks.